Good evening, I'm Angela McCall. The investigation into an American Airlines flight that caught fire at DIA is now more than 24 hours in, and there are still a lot of questions to be answered, especially this early in the investigation. 9 News reporter Ria Jha is at DIA with more insight into why things played out this way. Ria?
Yeah, Angeline. So we're looking into the events surrounding that evacuation that happened here yesterday. I spoke with our 9 News aviation expert about why those people had to go out onto the wing, why firefighters weren't there when the plane touched down, and what could have caused the fire.
Oh, what happened?
And the fact that you had people that evacuated out onto the wing of an airplane that was still standing on its landing gear is a very rare event.
Images of American Airlines Flight 1006 passengers evacuating onto the wing of the plane at DIA have made national headlines.
Then you have 2 overwing exits.
9 News aviation expert Greg Fife laid out for us why only half of the exits were usable.
You have basically 8 exits to get out of the aircraft in the event of an emergency.
2 were gone for obvious reasons.
I was at row 19 on the right side of the aircraft. And there was smoke, and looked to the side of me, and the flame was about 15 feet away.
The jetway hadn't been pulled up to the aircraft yet, but without the jetway, you can't use that exit anymore because the slide won't deploy. There's not enough room.
Leaving only 4 exits left, forcing many passengers towards the wing.
I was trying to think rationally. I'm like, there should be fire engines here when we land.
FAA regulations require firefighting units to be on site when the pilot declares an emergency. But based on audio from air traffic control, the pilot never did.
Just to verify, not an emergency still, correct?
No, we just have a high engine vibration, so we are cruising slower than normal.
Aviation experts say engine fires on modern jets are rare.
As we were landing, you could smell gas, and as we landed, then we smoke electric, and then it was just fire.
The smell of gas, the black smoke, and the pooling underneath the engine, Fife says are all indicators of a fuel-based fire.
So the investigators are going to be trying to identify what broke in this engine and what may have severed a fuel line to cause that type of fire.
Our 9 News aviation expert also said that maintenance records would be a big part of this investigation to determine if a mechanical issue contributed to that engine failure. Reporting live at DIA, Ria Jha, 9 News.
And one of the passengers on that flight says American Airlines offered her a $100 trip credit as compensation. The airline told KRDO, our sister station in Colorado Springs, that the credit is part of their standard process. They also told KRDO that they're offering that passenger 25,000 airline miles, which is about as much as a free round-trip ticket. The passenger was hospitalized but released today. American Airlines says they're contacting every passenger to apologize and check up on them. New tonight, 2 first responders are seriously hurt after a crash in northwest Colorado. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office says a paramedic and EMT were involved in a crash with another car on Highway I-25 north of Walton today. Both first responders were hospitalized. We're working to learn more about the extent of their injuries. No one in the other car was hurt, but the driver was ticketed. Tonight, the Meridian fire in El Paso County is 90% contained. The Ellicott Fire Department says the flames have burned more than 2,500 acres or nearly 4 square miles near Schriever Space Force Base. Now, into this evening, crews were watching over several hotspots with high winds in the forecast. There is no cause for the Meridian fire yet, but the Ellicott Fire Department believes it was an accident. Now, we had been warned all week, and the bomb cyclone finally made its way to the state. It brought snow to the high country today, and those looking to head to the mountains this weekend are in for a very slick drive. Here's what's happening west of Vail Pass tonight. There's also been on and off closures all day because of safety concerns as well. Now, here in Denver, it wasn't too bad. It was really windy in the morning, but actually cleared up and cleared out pretty quickly. But in the mountains, they're still dealing with this a little bit, right, Corey?
Yeah, I mean, the Front Range kind of had the most moderate impacts from this storm. Mountains got some high winds, and we got some high winds on the eastern plains. Just look at what our storm has become right now. Just a monster cyclone out here, spinning up into northeast Kansas and eastern Nebraska right now. We have tornado warnings through Arkansas, Missouri into Illinois. We got the wind on the west side of this storm system, huge dust storms down to the south side of this system. So massive storm, powerful storm, impacts widespread. Here are the wind gusts that have been reported across the area. 82 miles per hour in Boyero, just to the southeast of Denver, out in the eastern plains. Northeast plains in Sterling getting a 70 mile per hour gust. So the wind certainly significant, and that wind did spread into the high country as well, causing massive trouble in some of the roadways in the mountains. Right now we're starting to cool down. It's going to be a cool morning here, likely dropping all the way into the middle 20s. So it'll be a frosty start till tomorrow, and then we'll gradually start warming things up into Sunday and Monday, where we'll be talking about record heat on St. Patrick's Day. I'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Corey. A woman who survived the Columbine high school shooting has died of cancer. KUSA Run passed away on March 3rd. Her funeral was held today. 9 News talked with her in 2017 after a stage 4 colon cancer diagnosis. She fought it for years, leaning on her faith, family, and friends. KUSA Run was 40 years old. New tonight, a man is charged in the shooting death of his 2-year-old son. The shooting happened on East 2nd Street in Loveland on January 20th. Loveland police say 24-year-old Draven Hawthorne told investigators the gun accidentally went off as he was trying to put it away. His toddler died at the hospital. Hawthorne only had minor injuries. He was arrested in Greeley on Wednesday. He is now charged with criminally negligent homicide, among other charges. Hawthorne is being held without bail in the Weld County Jail, waiting to be transferred to the Larimer County Jail. 2 teenagers are facing charges for supplying the gun used to kill a 16-year-old boy in Commerce City. Police say the shooting happened February 10th as 4 teenagers sat inside an SUV on Tichy Boulevard. That's near Highway 2. Police say one of the teenagers was recklessly handling the gun when it went off, killing the boy. That teenager is facing manslaughter charges. Now, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old are also accused of buying and trading guns, including the one used in that shooting. Police say the guns that the boys had were taken during car break-ins. A man is in jail on a $100,000 bail tonight after police believe he caused a deadly head-on crash on I-70. Jian Chen is being held on suspicion of vehicular homicide and driving under the influence after driving the wrong way on the highway. He has a prior DUI conviction and another one for tampering with an alcohol monitoring device in his car. Jody Weber was killed in yesterday morning's crash. Her 2-year-old son survived. Now, outside of the courthouse today, Weber's husband talked about the kind of person she was.
She was very generous and very kind and patient. She had all the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. And that's just who she was as a person.
Chen is due back in court on Thursday for a formal filing of those charges. Loveland police have arrested another person suspected of vandalizing a Tesla dealership. Police say 24-year-old Cooper Joe Frederick threw an explosive at the Tesla building last week, causing 2 cars to catch fire. They say the building and several cars were also damaged by rocks. Today, a judge set Frederick's bond at $20,000 cash. He has also needs to stay at least 100 feet away from the dealership. Police say this was at least the 5th time in 5 weeks that this particular Tesla dealership was targeted. Officers arrested another person for a separate incident back in February. Now, today, Attorney General Pam Bondi said that the Justice Department would launch investigations into recent attacks against Tesla properties. Bondi said that the attacks are targeting CEO Elon Musk for his political affiliation. She said attackers are going after Tesla dealerships and charging stations, as well as vandalizing cars, much like what we have seen in Loveland. Now, a look at the U.S. Capitol tonight, where earlier today the Senate passed a bill to fund the government into the fall. Now, today's developments helped avoid a shutdown just hours before the actual deadline. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and 9 others crossed party lines to advance the bill in a key procedural vote. Both of Colorado Senators, Democrats John Hickenlooper and Michael Bennet, voted no. The stopgap measure funds the government through September 30th and now heads to President Trump's desk for signature. Now, more than 600 federal workers laid off in the last month have filed for unemployment in Colorado. Now, of course, those numbers were shared by the state's Department of Labor and Employment. They report 608 applications so far. Application like Randy Nussers, who got laid off from the Department of Energy only 3 months after getting promoted to a new role. Randy was approved for her unemployment claim, but only got one payment. Hired so late in the year and so recently that she was outside of the necessary base period.
I feel like I fell through a ginormous crack that is an unintended consequence. When I applied for my unemployment benefits originally, I was told that I was approved, but then whenever I was submitting the weekly certifications for a payment request, it came back as not having any funds available.
Randy says that she's not going to spend that money yet. She's nervous that her eligibility will change and she'll be asked to pay it back. The state tells us most of these applications from Colorado's federal workers are coming from former employees within the Department of Agriculture, as well as Treasury. Denver and Jeffco represent the counties with the highest number of claims.